Um, on Coach Gilbert, I wanted to ask. Obviously, the Dino's offense is sort of this intricate scheme that you've been learning over the years. How much has it maybe changed, or maybe gotten back to its real roots with Sterling and even I guess like Jeff Lepak as an analyst? Like, I guess what changes have you seen to the offense between the end of last season and now with those two coming in?
Right. So obviously today was the first practice. There was not too much that you can tell from day one, a lot of the basic stuff, but you can definitely tell how they went back, kind of, I want to say, to the roots and just reinstalling everything and just making sure everything's cleaned up from, I guess, how it was however long ago.
Is that something where you see it, at least today, when it's maybe not a lot of scheme, but just sort of like the tempo of practice and sort of the emphasis on specific details and route running and timing?
For sure.
routes?
Coach Gilbert, I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet him yet. He's very high energy. It's like he drank a couple Monsters, couple pre-workout things before. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "You ready to go?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Yeah. So I mean, that's awesome to have in a coach, especially in my position. So to be able to get that out of him was something I thought was cool.
How has your approach changed from last year starting spring ball to this year, knowing what you've been through and the experiences you've had?
Right, just trying to relay some of the experience that I had personally last year. I mean, just helping a lot of the young guys, especially in the quarterback room, just trying to help them see what I saw and maybe have them think things that I could have done differently, and really just having a different mindset going into it. Now that I had a year of playing under my belt, knowing exactly what it takes to win and just to fight through battles that you go on with your brothers. So really just to be that leader that I can do much better.
What's the biggest thing you learned from having a year of games under your belt?
It's a long season. A lot of bumps and bruises. It's really just, honestly, it's kind of like, I don't want to reference this to the NFL, but it's kind of like how the NFL guys talk about it. It's always just staying healthy because this is your job. Stay healthy, have fun with it. That was the biggest thing. I know you guys saw the Marshawn Lynch thing. Like, take care of your money, take care of your chicken. That thing was funny. So, yeah. So honestly, that kind of plays into, obviously we don't get paid or anything like that, but really just making sure you take care of your personal life as well as being on the football field.
What sort of things did you do in the offseason to kind of, one, take care of your mentals, and then also, take care of your physical body?
Right. So I got my weight up a little bit. I'm at 215 right now. I was kind of playing the season around 205-ish, so a little bit bigger, not too much. And then mentally, just watching a lot of film from last year, going over everything, even with Coach Gilbert now, watching a lot of the old game film, seeing what he thinks we can critique and what we can make better.
Did you need anything cleaned up procedurally? Cartilage or anything?
No.
You're good.
Yep.
With Sterling coming in, did kind of the offense, you guys are kind of looking around, trying to see who the new hire would be, or are you eased to being a coach that kind of Coach Babers that worked with before? Does that kind of make it easier, where you know that the offense is going to kind of be the same, it's going to have the same nuts and bolts to it?
Right. It definitely makes it easier that they're basically at the same mind. They both think very alike. So I'm able to hear just from one person. I don't have to hear from two different people. I mean, I definitely check in with the other, but they definitely have conversations about the offense and everything that they want to make sure that the language is clear going to everyone. They don't want to have two different people saying two different things, so they do a very good job with that.
Dino commented on the offensive line, saying he just wants them to be better this year. What's the relationship like, seeing these guys working out, during the winter and, and wanting to be better?
Right. I mean, you can tell as far as the leadership aspect, they're definitely taking more, I don't want to say serious route to it because they've always been serious about it, but a more professional route. I mean, our quarterback rack, it's me and Rex, Nolan Cooney and Anthony Queeley in our rack, and they're the rack right behind us. So we're constantly going back and forth with them, pushing numbers. So just to see those guys compete with each other, amongst them competing with the D-line and all the other positions, was something good to see, and I've been proud of them this offseason. I can't wait to finish that spring ball.
It seemed like last year, after the change was made on the offensive line and Matt Bergeron was inserted into the lineup, it seemed like those guys started to gel a little bit. How much do you think those games at the end of the year are going to help you now? Because, those four guys are all coming back and sliding where they were last year.
Right, it's definitely going to help a lot, especially with Matthew getting on the field. I mean, it's a lot for a true freshman to play in the ACC especially, but for someone to play on the offensive line is even more because of how physically different it is than any other position, and especially between the ears. So to see him do that and see the other guys gel together and help him be ready for that moment was something that I was inspired by.
You mentioned Rex before, so I got the flow back with his hair. Kind of, was it been like, with him in his journey, and now he's back on the field?
He's nuts. Rex is nuts. He's nuts. I mean, he's been growing his hair out for about probably a year now, almost a year. He's been just letting it go. He had a mohawk at one point, and then he was like, "No, I'm just gonna let it go." Yeah, he got cornrows at one point. He was telling me he was gonna do that for a while, and I never really believed him. And then it got long enough, and then he just did it. Showed up the next morning, I was like, Oh, he really did it. But yeah, no, he's awesome. I mean, we always work out together. Obviously, he's on my right. We always compete with each other. He totally transformed his body from last year to now. I think he was probably around like 230s. Don't put a mark on that. But he's probably around 230s, around 220. But he's ripped up. Just to see him go through that battle that he went through, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago. That battle that he went through, and to see where he is at now, I couldn't be more proud of him.
Entering your junior season now, I guess tell me how much responsibility do you shoulder this year, and just being that leader out there that you always envision yourself being.
Right, as far as shouldering, I think I'd do the same load. Let everybody carry their 111th. You don't want to have somebody take too much or do too little. Everybody has to hold their own ground at the same time. But as far as being a leader, just be more vocal. Now that I've had that year under my belt, I kind of know how to talk to some guys because, it's like anything else. Some people respond to coaching different ways. So just being able to talk to different people is something that I learned over the year.
What do you see from this receiver group? Obviously, Tristan kind of leaving for the NFL leaves a big hole on the offense from the receivers. What do you see from these guys coming back?
Right, it's just an opportunity for someone to step up. We play with 4 receivers on the field, sometimes 5. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for guys this spring, especially, and it was day 1, so I mean, I can't put any names on it, but I'm looking forward to seeing who steps up.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.